The threat of strikes in Ryanair. Pilots are already threatening a strike next Thursday, and now Ryanair cabin crew have announced strike action later on this month. I'm joined by Eoghan Corry, editor of Travel Extra. What do you think, Eoghan, with your experience? Will these strikes happen?
We're in uncharted territory. I do think that a lot of this is a dry run for conflicts that are going to come. IALPA and Ryanair have been squaring up to each other since December. And the issues at stake here, they don't really make sense to anyone outside that negotiation room. It's about seniority, holidays. It isn't the sort of thing that should be threatening people's holidays. Between now and the strike day, we're probably going to have talks. The sort of dance we're doing at the moment is even where are the talks going to take place? It's the equivalent of the shape of the table stuff at the end of the Vietnam War. I do think that if there isn't a deal struck the day before, we could have a situation where IALPA will be looking to how many of their pilots, of the 300 odd pilots in Dublin, will support them in the strike, and can Ryanair fly through it by bringing in pilots from other bases?
What about the effect on, passengers? And if you're at home tonight and you booked Ryanair flights, what would you do?
Uncertainty is a weapon. Uncertainty is what IALPA are using. It affects forward bookings, and that really is a bigger goal, a bigger target than the actual stoppage of the flights on the day. IALPA will maybe have 94, 95 pilot members, 300, will they bring the 120 flights outbound and back in again out of Dublin that day? How many of them will they stop? That's only a small proportion of what was lost through the French air traffic control strikes. So uncertainty is really what the whole mood music about this is about.
So, and what can passengers get? For instance, if you're thinking it's too much for risk and you've booked to go to stay in a campsite and you got to get there, is it a risk to cancel your flights? Because you don't get compensation, do you, if you choose to cancel and book other flights?
You will be contacted by the airline if the flight is affected, and you will be offered money back, which really isn't because you'll have booked in February. Everything is going to cost a lot more now. You'll also be offered. They are under contract to get you from where you're going to where you're due to go, not to an airport near it. Those contacts have not been made because quite clearly Ryanair have a plan. They expect to see this through. And for people who are worried, or passengers, I treat this like a weather event. Aviation is used to this. Aviation is used to, we had every single weekend in June, we had the French air traffic control causing massive reductions in the number of flights going over there. People were discommoded, but they eventually got to where they're going. And it's quite normal in aviation for something to disrupt vast numbers of flights. Passengers, sit back, don't panic. They will get you to where you want to go. You may be a day late.
Okay, and they'll compensate you, right. Eoghan Corry, thanks so much for coming in tonight. David.